Hello everybody, this is Starman, and welcome back to Let's Play the Pandora Directive. Well, last time you remember, we got knocked over the head, missed our date with Chelsea, and got to work on our case a bit, and discovered that apparently the new singer at the Fuchsia Flamingo is a close friend of Thomas Malloy, the man we're trying to find. But having figured that much out, and paid a few more debts around Chandler Avenue, now the time has come for us to gird our manhood, such as it is, and beg and plead for a second chance.
When I get to Chelsea's apartment at the Four Gables, there's a knot in my stomach as big as a cantaloupe. She's probably convinced I stood her up. I'll be lucky if she even talks to me.
I'll be even unluckier if she talks to me.
Hi. You're just a little late, aren't you?
Let's see, fake a misunderstanding, head her off at the pass, go for the ice cream. Let's go for the ice cream.
That looks pretty good. Can I have a bite?
No. Where were you last night? I can't believe you blew me off.
Try with some pity, don't mince words, my way or the highway.
This has to be one of the worst days of my life. I finally get a date with you and somebody decides to knock me out. I wouldn't blame you if you never talked to me again.
Oh, I have heard a lot of lame excuses, but this has got to be the worst one ever.
Slightly offended, agree, tender and pathetic. Yeah, it's a terrible excuse, but it's the truth.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's true. I was out for like 16 hours.
And why should I believe you?
Integrity through scouting, resort to physical evidence, fairly apathetic. Let's go with physical evidence.
Well, feel my head. This lump is either the place where I got hit or I sprouted a brain tumor the size of a tennis ball.
Ooh. Are you okay?
Resigned to pain, in need, manly and thirsty. Well, since we're going to ask her for a drink, let's go with the manly and thirsty option.
Oh, I won't be doing any headbutting for a while. But other than that, I'll be fine. In fact, I was thinking we might go out for a couple of glasses of pain reliever.
I could use a little drink myself. Unfortunately, I'm out of everything. Where should we go?
Well, how about the Fuchsia Flamingo?
Funny you should mention that place. I just got a membership there last week, and I've been wanting to try it out.
I wait for Chelsea to get gussied up, and then we fly down to the Flamingo. Chelsea's in a sunny mood, and I'm relieved that she's forgiven me for standing her up. Gus Leach meets us at the door. He greets Chelsea warmly, then gives me a less than neighborly look. Maybe he'd be friendlier if I were wearing a sexy black dress like Chelsea has on, but probably not.
You know, you could have dressed up too, Tex. Just saying.
So what do you think?
Be diplomatic, thumbs down, thumbs up. Well, she kind of likes the place because it's a little bit on the cheesy but fun side, and, well, that's got my name written all over it.
This place shows a complete lack of taste. $25 to check my coat and hat. I like it, though.
I think it's great. But then, of course, I've always been attracted to blatant tackiness.
Should I take that personally?
Take it any way you like. Do you remember yesterday I told you I had something I wanted to tell you?
Yeah.
Well, lately I've been thinking more about us.
Smug and sensitive bag of hormones. Get some verification. Prepare yourself. Brace yourself, Tex.
How many drinks should I have before I hear this? 4? 5?
I have to admit, up until a couple of weeks ago, I thought you were just another smug and sensitive bag of male hormones. I couldn't even figure out why I was attracted to you. Until I decided it was just another misguided response and me feeling like I was getting old.
Everything relative, cut to the chase, thanks a lot.
But then you realized that I was smart, charming, and handsome.
But now that I've gotten to know you better, underneath it all, I realize that you're a really decent guy. And like I always said, I've always been attracted to you. In a rugged, lost boy sort of a way.
Curious about motive, sum it up in a nutshell, recognize the key to Chelsea's heart.
So basically, the older you get, the better I look.
Turning 30 has just made me consider what's important. Do you know what I mean?
I guess so.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Fuchsia Flamingo proudly presents your entertainment for this evening. Now, please give a warm welcome for luscious Lucy Love.
That scarf looks familiar.
Now that little item looks familiar. It's the brooch and scarf I found in Malloy's room. Leach must have returned it to its rightful owner, I guess. Nice to meet you, Emily.
There was no brooch on it before.
You were married before, right? You never talk about it.
It was more like the Inquisition than a marriage. People tell me to go to hell. I tell them I've already been there.
Well, would you ever try it again? I mean, you know, with someone new.
Boy, Louie was right. This girl is a knockout. Maybe a little heavy on the makeup, but still. Whoa. Man, I gotta find a way to ask her some questions about her boyfriend, Malloy. Unfortunately, Leach hasn't taken his eyes off me since I came in. Maybe Chelsee could distract Leach for a minute, and then I could... No. She probably wouldn't understand why I wanted to meet Emily in her room.
Paging Mr. Murphy, do I need to repeat the question?
Oh, hell.
Huh? No. You were talking about marriage. Would I do it again?
Well...
Yeah, I might if I thought it was the right thing to do.
Getting caught on stormy nights, knotted drinks and pillow fights.
Malloy must be some kind of dynamo if he can handle her.
This body of mine,
I'm gonna have to make my move pretty soon.
this body of mine,
As soon as Leach gives me an opening, I'll slip up to her
this
room.
body of mine.
You know, Tex, it's not polite to stare, especially at other women.
No, it's not like that, Chelsee. This woman might be tied to a case that I'm working on. I hope I get a chance to talk to her tonight.
So that's why you suggested that we come here tonight, right? You used me to get in here so that you could follow some damn lead?
Well, not for some damn lead. I wanted to take you out for your birthday. I just figured I could kill two birds with one stone.
Oh, hell!
2 birds?
Allow me to rephrase that.
No, you're not talking your way out of this one. I can't believe I ever thought you were anything but a self-centered creep.
Give me a chance to explain.
No, you know what? I'm not interested in talking to you. You know,
Listen.
I don't think this is going to work. You know, we're friends right now, and I just think we better leave it like that. Thanks.
Hey.
Don't even think about leaving without paying for the drinks.
Why didn't you stop her? She owed half the tab.
Why don't you be a gentleman and pick up the tab?
Woman. Well, the bright side is now I don't have to explain to Chelsee why I'm going to make a break for Emily's room. I go back to the table and wait for Leach to be distracted. When my opportunity appears, I head towards the facilities, then hang a quick right and hurry up the stairs.
Come near me and I'll scream. I mean it.
Hold on. I just need to talk to you for a minute.
What do you want?
My name's Tex Murphy. I'm looking for Thomas Malloy.
I know you.
Have we met?
No, you're a detective, right? Listen, I have to get ready for my next set. Why don't you have a seat right over here? I've heard you can help people.
I do my best.
You think you can help me?
That depends on the problem.
I think someone's gonna murder me.
Why would you think that?
It started a couple days after Thomas left. I got a weird call. Someone asking where Thomas had gone. I told them I didn't know, and they hung up. A couple days later, I found a note in my room. After I read it, I was so scared. I told Gus. He told me not to worry about it. That it was just some freak who gets off on scaring women. But I know it's not like that. It's serious.
Oh, this sounds like something the police ought to handle.
Gus says he'll protect me. He doesn't want the police or anyone else taking care of me. I know he means well. But sometimes... But he's always been so good to me. I don't know what to do.
I'll need to take a look at the note, if you still got it.
I do. But I tore it up after I read it. I was gonna throw it away, but I decided to save it and give it to the police.
Good girl. Now, have you received any calls or messages like this since then?
No. But I feel like someone's watching me.
I'll check that out. By the way, did you tell me your real name?
Emily. Emily Sue Patterson.
Listen, Emily, I'll do what I can. But you gotta promise me that you'll tell me everything about Dr. Malloy.
Well, that's probably fair. I think I can trust you. Why are you looking for him?
Actually, I was hired by a friend of his to find him.
Hey, Emily, you're on it. What the hell are you doing in here?
Gus, it's okay. He just came up for an autograph picture. I'll be right
Get the photo
down.
another time. Get the hell out.
We were done anyway. Good night, Lucy.
Don't bother going back to your table. Just keep on walking right out of my club. If I see the flamingo again, I'll break your legs.
Well, my bar tab's on the table. Guess that means the drinks are on you. Night, Leach.
And hey, that takes us through day 2 and into day 3. The Black Arrow Killer. Ominous.
I keep thinking about Chelsee and the way we left things last night. Should I call her and apologize again? Let her cool off for a while. And maybe I've blown it with her for good. Small consolation is I got into the Flamingo, spoke to Emily, and have the note she gave me, which I'm hoping will give me a new lead to locating Malloy.
Alright, well, first things first, we do our usual check for mail, of which there is none. and faxes, of which there are none. Well, first things first, because I knew there was going to be a puzzle like this eventually. And, oh heck, this one has a timer on it, which is a new addition to the gameplay mode. You have to get everything done in a certain amount of time in order to get full points. And this one does not have a lot of obvious bits. But we do get a bit of a clue with the fact that the name of this chapter is the Black Arrow Killer. So we have to match up all the bits that look like they have a black arrow at the bottom. So that gives us bottom right corner. Yeah, well, as you can see, this took me the better part of 10 minutes, and I'm still trying to get it together to where it will consider it done. But you can see the basic message here is, I'm watching you, I take pictures, be afraid. And then the little black arrow symbol. And yeah, just figuring out what the letters are is enough of a challenge without... And is it going to consider this done if I exit now? It is not. Okay, great. And apparently I am going to have to get this pixel perfect. Well, I'm going to make you sit and watch me do it, so be back in a moment. Okay, yeah, it does seem like there is some kind of natural order to where it will have to get everything within the purple border. But then it will let everything jerk into place. And yeah, 1344.
Yeah. Emily Stalker was careful not to leave anything traceable on this note. The only distinctive thing about it is the black arrow symbol.
Well, for want of any other better clues... But first things first, let's try and muster what little dignity we can, and... Do I even have Chelsea's phone number? I don't think I do. Well, let's try that first. And no, Chelsea's apartment is not an option, so... Let's check around Chandler Avenue and... see what we can find out around here real quick.
Wife, you just missed Chelsee. She stopped in to say goodbye. She's apparently off to Arizona. Is everything okay with you two?
Dumb male response, look to Louis for illumination, nuptial worries.
I have absolutely no idea. What did Chelsee tell you?
Well, she and I talked for a bit. She's having a rough go of it.
Manly incomprehension, be moderately offended, trivialize Chelsea's plight.
Well, maybe I'm just not in touch with my feminine side, but what exactly is so rough?
Well, it's part you, part turning 30. I told her everyone goes through a phase like this. I haven't yet. Of course, I'm still young. I'm 58 and I still ain't ready to settle down. Tell me, Mife, you ever been truly in love with someone?
The big one depends. Mention the dark past.
Sure. Used to be married.
Yeah, the only thing easier than falling in love is getting married.
Cut through the baloney. If you only knew, sincere regrets.
Don't remind me. That's the last time I'll ever drink 150 proof vodka.
You know what it is, Mife? Chemicals. Up in your brain. We got these chemicals going bananas.
Illegal substance humor gets surprisingly technical. Cut through baloney.
Yeah, when the old dorsal amygdala gets fired up, look out for trouble.
My point is, falling in love don't mean a lot. What's hard is knowing someone real well and still liking them. But that ain't even the hardest thing. The hardest thing is finding someone you can trust. Remember that. Now, I'll get off my soapbox. What can I do for you?
Well,
Sorry, Mife. I can't help you there. I've heard talk that a stranger's been seen around the neighborhood for a while now. Of course, a lot of people come and go around here. I don't know anything else about her. Clint's done real good for himself. That chocolate stand up at Coit Tower's doing some pretty good business. Leach is the guy who opened the club. Big fella. Got a real hearty appetite.
okay, well,
Yeah, I've heard from her. She wanted me to say hi.
and I think that's everything we got, so, well, might as well check the rest of the neighborhood. Zach, of course, will not want to do anything unless we're buying something.
I heard you're working on some kind of mystery. I'd like to meet the sap that hired you.
Rise above the sarcasm, offhanded threat, challenge. Let's rise above the sarcasm for once.
You know, I'm in such a good mood. I think I'll just ignore that comment. How about answering a few questions?
So, someone sending sick notes to Emily? Well, it isn't me. Not that I haven't thought about it.
Yeah.
Let me think. Nope, I haven't seen a stalker around for weeks. And if you think it's me, then maybe we should just step outside and settle this right now. As you know, chocolate is everything to me. And the Coco Cabana is a dream come true. That babe is hot. Oh, if that big guy wasn't always hanging around, I'd make my move in a second. He runs the Fuchsia Flamingo, and he might be Emily's boyfriend.
Yeah, I think we asked about him earlier.
He's that new guy running the electronics shop.
Okay. Nothing particularly helpful, unfortunately. And of course, even if we could get in there, he wouldn't help us. Oh, Rook's always fun to pester.
I heard it through the grapevine that you and Chelsea had a little spat at the Flamingo. How embarrassing.
Snippy rejoinder, fill in the details, defend your privacy with a warning.
Well, for your information, it was a lover spat. Of course, you probably wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
Well, I know more about it than you'll ever know. You're completely clueless about women. And speaking of clueless, how is that case coming along? I don't want that.
Of course. Alright.
I've heard that a stranger's been seen lurking around the neighborhood lately. I figured it was just you getting your jollies.
Shouldn't that be jollies?
Well, if it wasn't
Yeah,
for...
we got that before.
No. Next question.
All right. Well, for lack of any ever better leads, and hey, we're back in the alley.
A billboard for llama cigarettes featuring llama claws. Can't believe how much money these big corporations waste on stupid advertising. Man, I could sure use a smoke. I have to admit, Rook has an enviable collection of trash cans. Oh, it looks like Rook fixed this window with a little scotch tape. Looks great.
Huh. And no gate, and Clint's old dumpster has been moved. Fedoras stink, hey!
Ah, Clint's old studio apartment. I wonder if it's for rent. The garbage can to person ratio.
Let's see anything useful in here.
The garbage can to person.
Not at the moment.
Something's going on behind that window. Something I don't want to know about. Sure looks like this door's painted on.
It is in fact still painted on.
I used to play basketball 2 or 3 times a day when I was younger. Now, after I watch Jeopardy, I need a nap.
Alright, doesn't look like there's anything useful back here at the moment. Oh, but we can squeeze through there. Alright, well, having exhausted all of the potential and possible leads we have around here, and then some, let's go ahead and check in with our old buddy Mac Malden, who apparently has been injured.
I've known Lieutenant Mac Malden for years, and occasionally we help each other out. Like a few months ago, when I gave Mac a tip on finding Rusty the Clown's body in the funhouse down the street from the Ritz.
Well, as I live and breathe, it isn't Tex Murphy, my little PI pal.
Wow, he's being uncharacteristically cheerful.
Hey, what's your arm doing in a sling? Isn't it usually your butt?
You're a funny guy, Murphy. You know, I sprained my elbow beating the hell out of a guy just 'cause he reminded me of you.
Little police humor, Rusty reminder, get philosophical. Let's go with some police humor.
Injured in the line of duty, huh? That must be why they made you Cop of the Month.
Cop of the month, whoop-de-doo. I got a monogrammed nightstick and an all-you-can-eat dinner at Jolly John's House of Grub. Though I do suppose I owe you one for helping me find Rusty's remains at the funhouse. So what do you want?
Well, it just so happens I have this threatening note I need some help with.
Take a look at this note.
A lot of Chinese food boxes on that desk.
Damn. You get this.
I got it from a client. What can you tell me about it?
You ever hear about the Black Arrow Killer?
It's vaguely familiar, but refresh my memory.
Oh no, you're on your own in this one. You take care of yourself. That's dangerous territory.
All right.
Don't know anything about it. Most of what I know came from the papers. I know there's a rumor around that the Black Arrow Killer has moved out here. I don't know any more than what I've told you. There are a lot of perverts running around these days. We can't keep tabs on all of them. You think I know everyone in this town?
Seems like everybody knows everybody else in this town.
Don't know anything about it. You think I know everyone in this town? No can do, Murphy. We found Rusty's remains in there thanks to your tip. Sure was good to close a case on a damn clown. I'm not sure who owns the place now, but I still got the key.
Huh.
Sure. After the tip you gave me, I suppose the least I can do is loan you the key.
Oh, well, that's convenient.
Don't know anything about it. Well, there are some things I don't know about. I'm doing just fine. Now that Joanne's left me, it's like a whole new, beautiful world. Sorry. Well, there are some things I don't know about. Don't know anything about it. You think I know everyone in this? Louis makes the best chili in town. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit in with my new low-fat, high-fiber diet. I met him when we were investigating the pawn shop robberies. Seemed like a decent guy.
Oh, Mac, your grasp of character is as faulty as ever.
Sorry.
Wow, that sounded actually apologetic.
You're not my type, if that's what you're asking.
Heh. All right. Well, you know, we do still have that cabin to look into. And this doesn't relate to the Black Arrow Killer, but we need to check this out sooner or later, I think. Hopefully this cabin will not require us walking through a jungle with random logs falling and quicksand traps.
David Wright's cabin is out in the middle of nowhere. The place appears to be totally abandoned. The door's unlocked, but as soon as I step inside, I sense something wrong. Like I'm just about to open a carton of milk that's been sitting out in the sun too long. Well, someone must have been here regularly because no one would have live plants if they weren't going to take care of them. These plants are so dried up, they must have been dead for a while. Books in the case have really been shoved around.
Ominous.
This tree probably died years ago. Makes quite a conversation piece, though. Nice wad of paper.
Okay, get that wad of paper. Another witness to the bizarre events of July 1947 may have been New Mexico Lieutenant Governor Joseph Montoya. According to closest Montoya, he visited the military base shortly after the UFO crash, and when speaking to friends shortly after, appeared very pale, almost white, shaking, and very, very scared. After consuming half a quart of whiskey, Montoya told friends that he'd seen 4 little men. He described their size as short, skinny-like, facial features, big eyes, the mouth was real small like a cut-across piece of wood, and went on to say that one was alive. While these excerpts of conversation are subjective and impossible to authenticate, they are one of the thousands that indicate the fact that there was indeed a UFO crash followed by a massive government cover-up contributed by AE and Puzzle of the Month. Fill in the grid so there are 4 blue squares, 3 red, 3 white, 3 green, and 3 yellow. No horizontal, yellow, or vertical row can have more than 1 square with the same color. Good luck.
Those big red spots look like blood splatters. Those big red spots look like blood splatters. These pieces of paper are wrinkled, as if they were wet at some time. The paper scattered around appears to have fallen off the bookcase.
Yeah, this is looking increasingly bad.
These books look like they've been
Hang on.
Interesting. I bet this'll run on my computer back at the office. Well, someone must have been here regularly because no one... Whoever came through here to straighten up missed the lamp. These books look like... These books look like... These books look... These books... This must be Mr. Wright, the owner of the cabin. It's an interesting picture. Some sort of ancient temple. Nice supply of firewood. Nice supply.
Okay, that one log can't be moved.
The rag's got brown stains all over it. No, that's blood. Couch looks like a family heirloom.
It's like the same pattern as my couch.
These casings are from government issue shells. Seems like a strange place to hang a painting.
Aha!
A security keypad. I guess whatever's behind the door must be important.
Now if it just had some clue of how to get behind...
A piece of stonework is covered with intricate carvings. This door's locked and I don't see a place for a key. Must be hooked up to some type of keyless entry system.
Like, for instance, the keypad there. Well, let's try that door.
And this door's jammed shut.
Huh, unfortunate. Is that a bullet hole in the wall? Looks like it. I wonder. Let's see, 4 blue, 3 green, 3 white, 3, no 2 horizontal. Huh. Let's see. I think this is a hint because we have to have 4 blue squares, no horizontal, vertical, or diagonal can have more than 1 square at the same color. So we figured out which one that would be. Then that might be the way to open this. Okay, so we can't have anything touching diagonally, vertically, or horizontally. Which means that we can't have anything up there, so that would make that there and that there. And then that one there and that one there. Huh. Okay. Clearly, I'm not as clever at this as I think I can, so let's just head back to the base. and by base I mean my apartment, and check out that disc. There we go. Still got the ominous music playing. Aha! So this has, in fact, got that puzzle on it. And let's see, what did we have the instructions were again? Let's see, 4 blue, 3 red, 3 white, 3 green, 3 yellow, no horizontal, vertical, or diagonal roll can have more than one square at the same color. Okay. Well, I'm not going to make you sit through me puzzling this out, so do a quick little edit cut
That's
here.
the only computer.
And we will see what we can see. Okay, well that did it. And that gave us this little thing, which I'm going to jot down in my PI notebook real quick. So we've got this little 4 grid here, which will be first row 2 across, that one there, that one there, that one down there. Okay, next. The Maya stand alone among early Mesoamerican cultures as evidenced in the Dresden Codex, a native book of pictures with exemplary hieroglyphics. Portions of the Codex date back thousands of years, and some of the contents, such as tables predicting eclipses and tables on the cycles of the planet Venus, are highly scholarly and would have been meaningful only to trained astronomical experts. Their knowledge is even more amazing in light of the fact that all the observations of Venus had to be done with the naked eye. The Maya knew with great accuracy the exact solar year, but rather than adjusting their calendar by adding extra days as we do for leap year, they added a correction formula that indicated how many days away from the correct seasonal position the 365-day calendar was at that particular time. The correction formula revealed an extremely accurate notion of solar phenomena. In fact, the Maya year is more accurate than our present Gregorian year, which was not introduced as the standard calendar in Western civilization until 1582, over 1,000 years later. Michael D. Coe found that the Mayan culture was intrusive. It appeared on the scene as a band of outsiders of a vastly superior civilization. Where did the outsiders come from? There is nothing that we know that relates to this culture any other in the world. None of the artifacts found to date show evidence of Eastern Hemispheric origins. There is so much speculation about the origin of the Maya. One linguistic researcher has pointed out an interesting fact concerning the story of the Tower of Babel in the Old Testament. While the Old Testament was supposedly written well before Maya flourished, the Mayan word for Babel, or Babel, means confusion. Moreover, the Mayan expression meaning to speak in confusion is Babel, that is Babel-than. Why would the inclusion of Mayan words in the languages of Asia and Europe indicate? Is it possible to conclude that within the Mayan context there existed, in effect, a primitive language from which other world languages are derived? Could be. Did ancient astronauts teach the Mayans how to speak? Read the book. Forgive me for going a little more old school in my reference than just, I don't want to say it was aliens, but it was aliens. There is every indication that the ancient Maya were a tremendously religious people. Their energy in worship and in providing the trappings for worship was unflagging. More than this, religious participation seems to have been the keystone that bound social classes in a cooperative functioning system. The Maya's principal deity was undoubtedly Itzamana, the sky god. They believed he was sent to Earth by Harabaku, the one god. According to most accounts, Itzamana came from the eastern sky. He was known as the great astrologist, lawgiver, and high priest. Mayans also believe that there were 4 chaos gods whom control the world, the 4 compass points. Mayan ceremonies were directed toward appeasing many different gods. Hun-Akun, the god of death, Ixachil, the goddess of the moon, Kulkan, the deity of the polar star, Kinchiahanu, the sun god. The Mayans also greatly feared solar eclipses, often committing suicide rather than face the wrath of Uslap. Well, interesting stuff. But what concerns me is that I think we just got the combination to get into the other room. Okay, so it's actually... Alright.
Whoa, now there's an antique. A real 16mm projector.
Oh, I really hope his snuff films aren't on there.
Looks like a post-war map of Scotland.
Yeah, the music here is kind of reminding me of Gabriel Knight. And I hope you can forgive me for not being my usual snarky self on this, but unlike the previous Tex Murphy games, this one is a little light on the slapstick humor, and there's some actually good intrigue in this.
Paper scattered around appears to have fallen off the bookcase. Some of these floorboards appear to be loose. Oh, Lord. Someone put some good holes in this guy. There's not much left of him, but I don't think this is Malloy, judging by the hair. Looks more like the guy in the photo downstairs. David Wright. The question is, who's responsible for this? And did they get Malloy, too? Paper scattered around.
And okay, it doesn't look like there's anything else to investigate there.
Books in the case have really been shoved around. It's a reel of 16mm film. This reel looks at least 100 years old. Paper scattered around. Paper scattered. Desk made out of walnut. Nothing interesting in the cup. Nothing interesting. These books look like they've been tossed around. Still more paper. Still more paper. These books look like they've been tossed. Pencils are well chewed.
Alright, can I open the drawer?
Nothing in here.
Well, a autopsy.
What is this? It's got to be some sort of practical joke. Wait a second. Whatever that thing is, it just moved.
And yeah, this is the actual famous alien autopsy video that...
I think I remember some sort of alien autopsy film from years ago, but that alien was dead. This thing looks alive, but just barely. Seems to be in a lot of pain. Wonder what happened to him.
All right, now open wide and say, "Whoa!"
Uh-oh. He doesn't look like he's gonna make it. I wonder if Malloy's disappearance is connected in some way to the contents of this film clip. Military personnel, a live alien? If it wasn't a hoax, this thing could stir things up in a big way. Maybe I shouldn't be getting involved. This is the sort of thing that gets people killed.
Well, it's a bit late for us to start worrying about that, but, let's do a quick tour around the neighborhood to see if anybody's heard anything about the Black Arrow Killer.
Hey, what can I do for you, Murph? I remember reading about the Black Arrow Killer. Someone was covering the story in the Bay City Mirror. You want to find copies of the Black Arrow Killer articles? I throw out all my old papers, but Rook sometimes holds on to his. Keeps them in the alley back at the pawn shop.
You know, that's just such a setup for a blatant clue. And I'll bet that this time...
The garbage can to person rate. I have to admit, Clint's old studio apartment.
And that is in fact a flat trash can. Hello?
It's a manhole cover. A sewer line must run under the alley.
Do I really feel like exploring the sewers? Not at the moment. Hello?
Man. Seems like I have to go through Rook's garbage at some point in every case I take. What a dirty, rotten job. Wow. Here's an old issue of the Bay City Mirror.
Okay, reading through the whole newspaper is going to be a rather lengthy task, and I think we will go ahead and call this chapter here, and next time we will start searching the newspaper for leads. Until then, y'all take care, and we'll see you then.